Alex then? I haven't heard them.
We're going to ask you because it says there's multiple things to do this because both.
I think we have like a civilian project for you today.
No problem.
Okay.
You guys look at them all the time. Let's see. Let's look at them. Because I definitely had some on there that weren't supposed to be.
That's what we were kind of wondering.
Yes. Those, I don't know. Canvas just seems to have, when I copied it, update the dates on all our unit exams. It did everything else right. But just those ones. So.
Just those ones.
Yeah, Rebecca messaged me last night, and I was going to just message her right back and say, no, it's not next week. And I thought, well, I better check. And sure enough, I was like, oh, my goodness, what's wrong with that? Me too. Because you try to not just send messages back to people because it's like, wait, I probably made a mistake.
I have two different computers. This computer doesn't have Discord, but my one in my CIS120 class, the same desktop has it.
So can you install it?
It's installing now, but
It's letting. Is it giving you errors, or is it now? Is it working now?
It's working now, but it's weird because my one in CIS120 that I had yesterday had already Discord installed, and I had the icon on the password. This one doesn't have my icon on the password. So
there's just no telling.
Can I say my dyslexia has a hard time with the 12 answer question number 10. My dyslexia.
Is it hard? I know.
So,
Hard. No, it's just like it's you know, because over the years I've thought about changing it, and I've decided no, because we get so much stuff like that when we're in the computer field where you have to look at so many places and it's so annoying. How are we today? Let's see. Oh, Daniel's over there. I was just going to mark an F and I see that hat. Let's see. Who are we missing? Is everybody here? Looks like everybody's here except for Alex.
Got the first two right.
So where did you have that? I wonder if I have the book.
I ran my maps today because I think they started cutting out small mammals in the building. But hopefully it's just a sickness, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look. I had unit exams on this week and that was wrong. So I'm going to go to the syllabus screen. Is that the one? Which one do you guys like to look at for your what's coming up?
I look at modules.
Modules. Let's look at syllabus so you can see what it looks like. You might like it. I use it to kind of clean things up. If you look at syllabus and you go past where the syllabus is, this thing lists for you like all your assignments by week. I know there are lots of places you guys can go for this stuff, and some people like to use their to-do list. You know, modules is the best place. That's where you want to go through the work. But as far as checking to see what's due, the syllabus screen will help you. Your to-do list. There's some others. What are some others that some of you use? Has anybody seen any other screens that they like?
I use assignments.
Yeah.
Assignments is good, and it's a lot like this syllabus screen. It just doesn't quite break it up in the week like the syllabus one does. So if I look around, I think the syllabus one is the one that the Canvas people themselves think is the best one for you to go to for as far as what to do. Now that might not be the best for just real quick, you need to find something. Your to-do list might be the best. But I came here anyways, and I could see that this week 4 exam had slid up into week 3's due dates, and it happened when I copied the course, so it was a mistake. So I got that fixed. So this week, we'll be focusing on our 2 programming challenges that we have, but we're not quite ready to start on those yet.
So you're changing the due date?
For your what?
For the programming, you're saying you did mention.
I'm not going to yet. It's going to depend on how you guys are doing today. Because if you whip through all of those today, I'm not going to change the due date. But if we need to, we'll change it to Thursday. So we probably will.
I've been reading since like
Have you?
Saturday, and I just got to 3.1.
But yeah, we'll make those due on Thursday because we just want to get those done this week. And we have plenty of time because we won't do that unit exam until a week from today. So I'd like to work some on these assignments today, some on them Thursday. And on Thursday, I'd also like to have some time for a little bit of review. But that's what we really have outstanding so far. Okay, so I want to back up. The Zoom session should be going. And remember, if you have that Zoom session up, you can set it on one side of your screen and your code window on the other side so that you can follow along easier. As I watch people, usually the people that are having the majority of trouble are the ones that aren't using the Zoom session. Like they don't feel comfortable setting up their screen with multiple things. So get to feeling good about that so that we can get past it. And
I wish when you had Zoom, you know, on the split screen, that it was automatically moved around with, you know, your mouse and all that.
that would be fancy. Let's see, I have our pseudocode open, but I want to open it in Notepad++. Right here, I have my File Explorer window open, and I'm looking at my 120 stuff. If I'm looking at my 120 files here in File Explorer, what do I have to do to be able to see these file types at the end of my file names, like I'm seeing on all of mine?
I right-click the property.
You could do that, but then it won't show you right on this main screen. How can you make it show you right here on this main screen?
You mean on the home screen thing? When you
No, right here in File Explorer. How can you see what file type your files are that you're looking at in File Explorer?
the little icon by it.
What about these empty ones? How do you know what type it is? I don't want you to look at the picture. As a programmer, you need to know what it really is, not what Windows thinks it is. Yes?
So are you asking to see if, like, if it's a picture, it says like what the ending is?
Yeah, this one is a text file,
Oh,
a
I see
text
what
file,
you mean.
a .rap.
Mhm.
How can you see that file type when you guys are looking at File Explorer?
If you hover over the name, hold on.
And you right click on it.
If you
But I
hover
want
over the name,
how-
it'll show you the-
How can we modify our view in File Explorer so that's showing all the time, like mine is?
Oh, try by type. Oh, where's mine?
What kind of view do we need to set it to?
Right. Because it says name, status, date modified, rename it by type. You would show all of them by type. No. Okay.
View by details.
I'm viewing by details, that's the first thing. Then what? So on the View tab, he's found it, I've got details, and then what else?
File name extensions.
File name extensions. Why would I be so annoying to you guys to make you go figure that out? Does it matter as a developer? Oh yeah, it does. If you're doing websites and Windows thinks you're working with a text file, you could end up looking at your file thinking it's .html, but Windows has actually added .txt to the end of it, and that's hidden from you because you're not looking at your file types. Now, the reason I wanted to show you this is our Raptor files. If you look at our Raptor files, my primary Raptor file is this .rap, Chapter 3 Sales Price Program Raptor.rap. But look at all these backups that Raptor created for that while we were working on it last time. So when I'm submitting that to Canvas, I have to be really careful to get the .rap file and not one of those backups. Okay, so as developers, as software developers, I just want you to get used to, right now, always looking at a detail view, always looking at file name extensions, and you also need to check that hidden items right? Because as a developer, you want to know if there's any hidden files or folders in this folder that you're looking at. Because again, as a web developer, somebody could have a hidden HTML file out there that does something to your website. So we want to always be aware of what we have going on as developers. Okay, so we're looking at our Chapter 3 Sale Price Program pseudocode.txt, and I'm going to right-click on that file and edit with Notepad++. Because if I just double-click it to open it, it's opening it in Notepad, and that's ugly. So what's the matter?
Which one are you looking?
Our Chapter 3 Sale Price Pseudocode.
That's not showing up in my file.
You don't see it?
No.
Do you see it?
I'm not. Oh, wait.
For some reason, it moved it to a different folder.
I'm not. You're after.
I don't think it'll move it on you, but I can send it to you guys in our Discord server.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to bring it up, make sure everybody had it. Is it already there? Where is it under the notes?
Did you want us to open Notepad++?
It doesn't matter because we're just going to look at that pseudocode. But if you like Notepad++ better, you can. Yeah, bless you. There's some people. We got some people jumping in there in our server. Now, don't forget the link to that server is in our announcements if you hadn't gotten in there yet. Everybody's getting it. Getting it.
So if it opens up automatically in Notepad, do I save as, then open it in Notepad++?
You could just close it and open it in Notepad++. You don't need to save it unless you want to put it someplace else. But Notepad is fine.
So, which
This was our program that we started working on.
It's under note.
So take a look, review what we were doing, because it's been a few days. Our sale price program, if you remember, we decided we were going to use modular approach, or I sort of did, and did it to you. So we have a main module. Our main module calls our input, calculations, and output. And then we've defined each of our different modules here in our pseudocode. So we have our prompt for the item's name, and then we input the item's name. Then we have our prompt for its price and discount percent, and we read those. And that's our input module. So what we were doing before we left Thursday was we were putting this logic into Raptor to run our flowchart. So we're doing the same exact thing, the sale price program. We just want to run it in Raptor. So let's find Raptor. We just got it open last time, was our first time. You should remember it. Now let's do our file open and see if we can find that. Now, if you look down, they do have some recent files. And so I see mine down here at the top of my recent file list. It was our Chapter 3 Sale Price Program, Raptor. Now, anybody that wasn't here last time, do you have it?
All the way down. No, I'm saying like back onto just this without the file. Go back to that's all. Okay, so click on file. Where is it? Never mind. For me, it was right there.
That's weird.
I just because it's really, I don't know what else to do.
Because we are the three brains on this as we do our Raptor. So our pseudocode is just something for us So last time when we started with Raptor, this is how far we got. What we did is in our main module, we have a tab up here that says this is our main module. We had the start and end of our flowchart, and we declared all of our different variables that we're going to need in this program. And since Raptor doesn't really care whether something's an integer or a string or whatever, we went ahead and gave each item an initial value to tell Raptor what data type it was. So honestly, all of these variable declarations, we could do without, because Raptor's going to declare that variable as soon as it runs into it. But we like having our variables declared. So the last thing we did before we left was we added in this flowchart symbol that is a call. And we said we want to call our input data module. Do you have that input data call in your flowchart? If it's there, we should have a tab up here then for our input data. So let's click on that. Okay, so we have the beginning and ending of our input data module. And if we look at our pseudocode for our input data module, what's the first thing we should do?
Item name.
Yeah, what about it?
An assignment for it.
We've created the variable. What do we want to do with that item name? You're right. That's the one we're messing with.
We want to declare what kind of data type it is.
We already did.
Oh.
Yeah. What do we want to do with that item name? Do we want to prompt the user for it?
Yes.
Yeah, and so if we're going to prompt the user, what kind of flowcharting symbol should we use?
Input.
Input,
Because they're
input.
They have to.
Oh,
So let's drag our input symbol onto our flowchart and then double click it to change its contents. So our prompt, we actually have that in our pseudocode. So I'm going to copy it and paste it from my pseudocode. I'm going to keep the double quotes. Now that's totally up to you. Some people are less comfortable copying and pasting than others, but I know as a software developer, that's going to be my bread and butter is copying and pasting. So I will copy it and paste it. And then I want to read that into which variable?
No.
Yep, you got it. Notice when I started typing it, because even if we can't remember exactly what we called it, no, it was something about item name. Raptor does give us a little list down here of all the variables it finds that are matching what we type. And there is a way to make it put that name into this code, like you double click on it or press enter on it or something, but it never works for me, so I always just type it. But you can try messing with it. You can click it. Just make sure it's the same. And then I'm going to click done. Now, could we actually run our flowchart at this time to see if things look good? Let's try it. I'm going to slow my speed way down because I want to really watch it run this time since we're just getting started. And I'm going to play the flowchart. So I start, and then we're declaring all our variables. And remember, as we're declaring our variables, they're showing up over here in this window. And that's one reason Raptor is helpful, because it's showing us exactly what's going on with all of our variables. Now, for my prompt is displaying there, and here's my input box. So if I type something in, I'll say that's a great name. Then we should see that whatever we type in as input show up in our item name variable, right? Because we read that in. And so start seeing how Raptor is showing you what's going on. Working?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay, so what do we want to do next then, based on our pseudocode?
Price column.
Price. So we're going to use what symbol? Input. And again, our prompt is going to be within double quotes. And I'm going to say, what is its price. Now, in our pseudocode, we asked for the price in the tax percent or the discount percent at the same time. Raptor can't handle that. Raptor can only do one thing at a time. So we'll make it be what is its price. And I think we made that variable be price. Not showing me anything. Oh, look, there it is over here. Sale price. Now we could try it again, but let's go ahead and put in our third prompt for our discount percent. So one more input symbol. And what is the discount percent? Now the middle question I had a question mark on, so I'm going to make sure and do a question mark in this one and just keep them consistent. And then our variable name is going to be discount rate. So I'm kind of glad we ran our flowchart once because all our variable names are listed over here in this watch area now. And that kind of makes it easier to figure out what we called them. So let's click done. Okay, so that should be our complete input module.
Isn't the second one supposed to be original price for the sale price?
Yes. Thank you. Very good. Thank you very much. Okay. Keep us from having bugs. That's what we want. Now in our calculations module, we've got to do a little bit of math work, but we don't have a tab up here yet for that. So how do we do that? What should we do? Should we go back to our main first? And in our main then,
You do a call too?
a call, exactly.
So that to connect the two.
Mhm.
No, no, it
Okay.
it did something.
What did it do?
I clicked no for, not when I pressed the new button, I clicked no, so it wouldn't, delete my stuff, and it did it anyway.
Well, we want it to do it.
We wanted.
Yeah, so let's try it. Hang on, I'm going to use my call symbol. I'm going to double click it, and our module name is going to be calculations. And when it asks if you want to create a new tab, just say yes.
Hold on real quick, it's not
Sure.
showing. Oh, can you see your input list? Are your input list?
It's giving me go back to sleep. The Zoom session, you guys are seeing this, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm just fixing something.
Okay. I just am worried last week I Zoomed and didn't get any data captured.
Did you hear that Blizzard got DDoS attack?
Really?
Yeah, Mount Classic came out last week.
Uh-huh.
So it's like it's a big time. I mean, like servers have 2-hour queue times and stuff, and they got DDoS attack. It was a kid in Europe who was bouncing back and forth between shutting half the servers down in Europe and
Oh, and they go back.
he would follow Twitch streamers around and try and shut down the servers they were getting into. Yeah.
What happened?
So mean.
So mean.
What happened?
Ping of death.
Blizzard got a DDoS.
Wizard?
Blizzard. The game manufacturer, Blizzard.
Blizzard.
Oh.
That's behind World of Warcraft and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you good?
I'm still entering the other stuff. Can I see your?
Well, we're going to go ahead, okay? and then you can get that input. So come with us, and then you can go back and get that input redone. Are you all right with that?
Did you see my last video? They like close all the mobile icons, but I wanted to put that because not enough people are
Call, that's what it says, call. So weird.
Drag that right there to in between. Yeah, right there. Now double click. Again, the calculation. And then, yes. Oh, by the way, when you made it big and it asks, do you want to, it's going to delete it, do you want to save? But no, you just read, you don't want to delete it. Well, you click yes, if you want to save it, because it's going to delete it no matter what. Yes.
That's where it went. That makes sense.
Yeah, I've done that.
It happens. Okay, for our calculations, we're on it. Now, our calculations, we do have a couple of module, or say the right word, variables we need to declare. Whenever we declared variables at the very beginning that we could use throughout our whole program, those are global, right? Because we can access them anywhere through our program. If those ones were global, what are these? Just within this one module. They're local. So they're only available in this one module.
I thought that.
You had it. You wouldn't say it.
That was right.
Okay, so let's get an assignment symbol. And the first one we want to create is amount saved. We already have it as a global variable.
We decided in the middle of making Pseudocode that we should have made it a dedicated variable, and we never took it out of the top.
Oh, okay, so let's put it in here, and we'll delete it from our main. So we'll make our amount saved 0.0.
Oh, it sure is. It's right there. I thought we did. You said we're deleting that one.
Yeah, we'll get rid of the one in our main. And then the other one that we need, we don't have, so we're okay. Just that one. Our other one we need, we're going to say that this is a constant. It's going to be tax rate.
We're adding another assignment.
And its value is going to be 0.065.
Oh, it says right there.
Is it okay if I put 0.065?
Now I want to go back to my main and delete that amount saved variable right away. So I'm going to go to my main, find amount saved, and select it, and then click delete to get rid of it.
Oh, in all caps. Okay.
Now our tax rate, we made all caps because if we were working with code, this is going to be a constant type variable. We can't change it. So let's put an annotation there, one of those comments. I can right click and choose comment. And let's say this is a constant value. And sometimes we'll put comments like that just to remind ourselves what that term is. Okay, now we're ready to actually do our calculations. So the first calculation we're going to do is the one to calculate our amount saved. And we're going to use our original price and multiply that by our discount rate divided by 100. So what do we want to use? What kind of flow charting symbol for that math stuff. Do we need a special symbol?
Input.
Nope. Assignment. Because we don't need a special symbol. It's being mean. Now we're going to set amount saved. And then our to part is going to be the formula. So our formula is original price times, and then within parentheses, discount rate.
There's no space in between the times and original price, right?
There should be. It'll get pretty hard to read if you don't put spaces. And sometimes Raptor gets confused if there isn't.
When it comes to calculations, those you can also copy and paste.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you can copy and paste those too, for sure.
Okay.
And so I think you could go without the space, but I think sometimes Raptor gets confused about it.
Poor little raptor.
Yeah, poor Raptor. So I'm going to click done.
So easily.
Yeah, it gets confused. Easy. All right, so that works. Now we need to calculate our sale price. What kind of flowcharting symbol should we use for that?
Input.
I've already.
He's saying it up here. Which one do we want back in the back? I can sit here all day till one of them says it.
Assignment.
I want someone from the back. Are you in the back?
And so sure, you would think I'm in the back.
Assignment would work good. Let's try it. So I want to calculate my sale price. And it's going to be equal to my original price minus that amount saved that we just calculated.
Oh.
And one more. For our last assignment, we're going to calculate our tax.
Yay, we're done with semester.
Our tax is going to be our sale price that we just calculated times our tax rate. Shall we test?
We shall.
Let's do it. Let's save. And I'm going to go to my main. My speed is set down really low, so I'm going to run this. We should see the watch area start populating with all our variable names.
Hold on. Before you can execute this flowchart, you have to add codes, symbols, red arrow.
What's I'm saying great item, right?
Great item.
Error? Oh,
What is its price? Let's make it 500. And then the discount percent, we'll say it's a 10% discount. So let's watch your calculations.
That'd be point, are we putting in 0.1 then for the discount rate?
No, do 10 because we did division.
Okay. Oh, got you. It's already included in that.
Now, if things are working right, you should see over here in your watch area,
It's
whatever
doing
you
it
set
all.
your original price and your discount rate, you should be able to figure out if your amount saved is correct. Your sale price is correct. Does everybody's look all right?
hold on. I got an error when I tried to play it. The input data thing got deleted.
So I think we forgot to decide.
What?
It should be. We're down there for the price of site. It should be.
Did we?
Yeah.
No, who's doing it? We're asking.
I can just put A.
We got this.
Did we forget the total price assignment?
No.
At the very bottom.
Have we done that yet?
You're not supposed to be in the calculation.
Have we done that yet?
When have we done it yet? Sorry.
Isn't it?
Oh, sorry. We're working ahead of it.
I'm even gonna have a-
Have we done that yet?
No, I don't even have
Sorry.
I don't even see it in our pseudocode.
Are we missing one?
Yeah.
Total price is very low.
Oh, I don't have it in my pseudocode then.
Okay, let's put in our output. I need another module call. So I'm going to go to my main and call that last module. That main is taking care of everything, keeping all of our pieces together. And it's going to call our output data module. So output data. And I want a new tab.
It won't let me. It says it's not a valid procedure name.
Make sure you don't have a space between output and data. And you can't just use the word output because that means something to Raptor. So that's why it has to be output data.
Output data is not a valid procedure. She's like, what are you doing wrong? I tried it with capitalized and the space at the end. Oh, that's what.
It's in my spaces, even if they're at the ends.
That's so sensitive.
All of them are.
All of them are.
Okay, so in our output data module, we're going to be outputting some information. So the first message we want to print out is something about the item is and then its name. So what flowcharting symbol should I use to do this? Output. Output, yay. So I'm in my output module, and I'm going to drag an output symbol onto my flowchart. And in this one, we want it to be almost exactly like we have in our pseudocode. The item is colon space double quote plus our item name variable. Now, when we concatenate data like this, when we're outputting things, it can get really confusing. So look really closely at this first one while we're still kind of simple. The string we're outputting, our message that says the item is enclosed within double quotes. Everything in those double quotes becomes one string. It's like a variable, right? And then we're using the plus sign to say we want to add more to that. And what we want to add to it is the variable name. The variable name should not be in the double quotes because it's a variable. So string plus variable or variable plus string. But really look at it and kind of think, oh yeah, okay, if I put that item name inside there, it would just print out that word. It wouldn't print out the value of the variable. So I'm going to click done on this one. And then I need another output. This one is going to be our pre-sale price. One other thing on your output symbol, notice down here at the bottom where it says end current line. If you uncheck that, you could just put all sorts of output messages on the same line if you wanted to. But by default, it's going to go ahead and move your cursor down to a new line. Okay, so I've got my pre-sale price, and then I need another output for our discount percent. So percentage discounted was, I don't, wait, what do you want? What do you mean?
Oh, I forgot.
I don't believe in No Child Left Behind. Leave him, leave him. Now she'd get on all those double quote thingies. Okay, so we're ready. Click done on that one. Another output. This one is going to be our sale price. So again, I'm just copying and pasting directly from our pseudocode, the message that we wanted to output in the variable name. I'll do another output for our sales tax. And then finally, our total. This last output says total colon space and then a $sign. And then we're attaching our total price variable to that.
For the put sales price, you, never mind.
You see it? So don't put that word put, the output thingy will do that. We should be all done. If you're done, go ahead and try running it. Let's see if it's working. If it's not working, what is our problem? That's okay.
Oh, that's what.
purpose.
Look, this is wrong. We're like, yeah. Now. He's such a smarty.
Yeah. Is it working? Okay, Steph, I'm gonna run mine. And see, I have that speed set so slow, it's kind of annoying, but that's all right.
Great. Did you still set it to 510%?
Sure, try that. I like those nice round numbers.
Well, now the front nose was wrong. Thanks,
No, you never be quiet. You're fine.
Yeah, he's good at helping us.
That's right.
Helping us.
They need to feel that power.
Why does it keep like
What you got?
Oh,
I just think that.
is it because that's what you're talking about? Because it comes out in zero prices? Oh.
And then the percentage is set.
So my tax rate came out zero. I don't know what I did wrong. So
Where is our total price variable?
It came up as zero.
$0.
Yeah.
So he's getting an error completely. Is your total price?
here, look, but see, but look at it came out as a.
It's looping mine for some reason.
You never said that.
Very-
But you need a.
One, two, three, four, five.
So it looks like in some cases we're missing our total price calculation. You guys put that in? What should we do there to fix that?
At the end, it says I have 31 symbols, is that correct?
So I don't know. What should we do to fix our total price problem?
Yeah, that's.
Go into the main, do we need to do anything in the main?
No.
Where should we put? Is our total price already declared in our main?
No.
It's just missing completely, huh?
It's just added at the end.
So we found a problem with our pseudocode. So it shows us that our design process, as we code things, we can find problems from previous steps.
I got it. So we're bringing the error. I guess we had two extra outputs. Bottom of my name, right next to the.
Oh, but you found them. So good. Okay. So let's fix it. First, I agree with you guys that we should fix the pseudocode. So in our pseudocode, where would we want to calculate that total? Do I want to calculate that total in my input module?
No, you want it in the calculation module.
In the calculations module? Exactly. So let's do it. I want to set our total price equal to sale price plus tax. Does that look right? because we've calculated the sale price and we've calculated the amount of tax. So I think our total price would be our sale price plus tax. So we've added that to our pseudocode, our design document, but now we need to add that to our flowchart. So go to your calculations module in your flowchart. And again, it's going to be at the very bottom. What kind of flowcharting symbol was that? Yep. Assignment symbol, we want to set our total price to our sale price plus tax. Now test, see if you're getting, first of all, no errors. It's like you guys were finding out, sometimes we get errors, that stops the whole thing. And then second of all, are we getting valid results? So we could get numbers, but they could be wrong. So we want to make sure we're actually getting the right numbers. So I'll do mine at the 510% again, because I can calculate that.
Yes.
Does it work?
Yes.
Awesome. 500 bucks, 10% discount. Finally, here's my output. And remember, in Raptor, you'll have to find that master console screen to see your final output. So here's mine, font size. That's better. So here's all my output from this run, from my output module. On the total, we put a $sign in there at the beginning of the number. We didn't do that on any of the other numbers. So we can see how that had an impact. Questions about it?
On your master console, your first run complete has 13 symbols evaluated.
Don't worry about how many symbols you have. That's not relevant. Because I could have put 55 comments in there and made it have all sorts of symbols. So those don't matter. Okay, so you got some assignments. Let's go find them. I'm going to bring up the e-version of our book. It's in your book. Okay, so we are looking at the Chapter 3 programming challenges. So in your textbook, if you look at the side, again, they're color-coded, the side of the pages. She says 177. But if you find that blue border, that's going to be the end of the chapter. And these programming challenges are right at the end of the chapter. So I want to find the ones for Chapter 3. That's where we are. So see, they're at the very, very end, 177. So the first one is number 2. Now we're going to look at these, and then I'm going to try to decide. I think we need to mix up our room a little bit. So I think we're going to rearrange who people are working with so that you can get some experience working with others. I'm just really torn about it with you guys. I know. That's why I might move you. Okay, so look at this one. Let's read our description here. This one should be really like our sale price program. We are working at supermarket, and the manager would like to be able to compute the unit price for products, and these are like bananas and things that are sold by the pound. So to do this, the program should input the name and price of an item per pound, and its weight in pounds and ounces. Those are going to be separate numbers that are entered separately. Then it should determine and display the unit price, the price per pound of that item, and the total cost of the amount purchased. So in our book, they give us the variables that they recommend, and they give us the formulas. Now, one thing that I liked last time, they showed us that IPO chart. Let's see if I can find a marker that will work. I'll try a few. Well, neither of those. I have to go down past that scary lady that guards the markers. Okay, so I have this IPO chart. Remember, that stands for input, processing, and output. So for this supermarket program, what are our inputs going to be?
Name, price, per pound.
Okay. Anything else?
Tax.
Tax? Do we have tax in it?
It's
Just the
weight
same?
in pounds and ounces also.
Okay. This one doesn't use tax, does it?
No.
No. So we're different. Is that all of our input? Do you think of anything else we need looking at that one?
Commission rate.
Do what?
Commission rate.
Dimension?
Commission rate.
It doesn't have that.
Calculation.
Do number 2. You're looking at one of the others. I know there's one that has that.
I would commission it on me.
I think we'll calculate that.
Oh,
The name of an item and price per pound and its weight in pound and ounces. That looks good. So it says then it should determine its unit price. So I'm going to put those calculations here. And then what's the other one?
Total price.
Total price. And I'm just going to put it like this because you've got the calculation there in your book. And then what's our output's going to be after we've done that calculation?
The total price. Right?
total cost? No, that's the same thing. The total.
They're not really super specific, are they,
Huh.
about what you should output? So what do you guys think would make sense to output? Probably the name of the item, right?
Yeah.
And we know that we'd want to output the unit price that we just calculated and the total price.
The price per pound. No.
Those other ones, I think, would be up to you. Because if you want to output some of this other information, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. That would be just kind of a discussion point as you were working on this program. Okay? So there's that one. So that is number 2 when we're looking at Canvas. Canvas says, Programming Challenge 2 Supermarket. That's that one. The other one that you have to work on is Challenge 4, the bowling scores. So let's look at it. Now, bowling scores looks a little easier. It's actually a little harder. It is. We have 2 bowlers, Shannon and Jasmine. Each of them bowl 3 games in a tournament. So we need to prompt for each of their 3 scores. Then we need to calculate an average of the 3 scores. And then we need to calculate a team's average, and they give us a formula there for doing that. So it is kind of involved, so that's why I want you to wait and do this one after you've done that first one. The thing about this one is you need to limit yourself to just these variables. So it's really easy if we create Shannon score 1, Shannon score 2, Shannon score 3, and Jasmine score 1, Jasmine score 2, Jasmine score 3. But we don't want to do that. We want to use these same score variables for each of those people. Okay, now next time, as we get started, we'll think about our IPO chart and see where everybody is on this one. So I'm going to change both of these assignments to be due Thursday night. So don't worry, we're not going to be late on them, because we've just, from the very beginning of the semester, we know we've been running behind because of those network problems, and our intros took longer because it took us forever to create PowerPoint. So this is where it's catching us. So we'll definitely have both days. Now, the problem is trying to put everybody in a team that will be super productive and not a problem. So I think that I'm going to do it in just a really random way. And I want everybody to come up here, and I want you to line up from up here to the back based on your birthday. So people born in January, up here at the front, people born in December, back at the back, and then we'll see if we can split you up. Somebody's drawing on my dinosaurs.
Oh, it has a little hat.
Yeah.
We're just missing a bow tie.
Getting there. We got no January's? January's up here?
January.
February maybe up here if we got no January? May. Oh my goodness, we got nobody that was born in the winter.
I was born in October. Wait,
Technically, I was born
In the
in
winter?
March. Yes.
March,
Uncle was
March,
born in
March.
Christmas.
Nice. We're getting here.
So early
March 2nd.
fall.
So where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Let's see how many people we got. Okay, I come up with 20 people. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, he's not looking at me. Is it Josh? Daniel. I've had a Josh come and go. Is he like your brother? That name just kept. So starting with Daniel, you guys are going to step over the rest of the room. And Daniel, I want you to walk up here to meet your partner, and everybody's going to follow you. Okay? Yeah, that's Daniel. So he's partners with him. Right there, right there, right there. You're going to be with, he's hiding. Yeah, right. You're no. Can you see? Are we? Come on up. Make sure everybody can tell who their partner is. Come up one more. Yeah, you guys spread out a little bit. Okay, can you find them? Got them? Got them? Got them? Okay, look at your partner. Decide where they sit, where you sit. Which place should you guys go to? Let's relocate to a spot.
Right, so we're switching our spots.
Yes, relocate to a spot just to work on these projects. It won't be a permanent thing, just a temporary thing.